Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Hannah Wallace and we're here today for the Think Asia, Think Hong Kong event in London. And joining me is Phillips from Invest Hong Kong. We're going to be talking about Hong Kong as a fintech hub. Stephen, thank you very much for joining us today.
Great, well, thank you.
Firstly, how do you see Hong Kong's position as a global fintech hub?
Well, I think the first thing I would say is that obviously Hong Kong is one of the existing leading financial services centres globally. And of course, on the back of that, that means that there's phenomenal opportunities around fintech across all the verticals that we see on a global level. I think one of the key things about Hong Kong as well is the propensity for people to welcome innovation. So ripe for entrants from around the world to bring new ideas and use Hong Kong to build out the business. The opportunity is significant. Hong Kong as a market in its own right is great. Hong Kong's proximity to mainland China obviously is a much bigger opportunity for many companies, and specific opportunities around the Guangdong area, so immediately north of Hong Kong, with preferential access essentially to companies, for instance, in asset management to onboard clients in the wider southern China region. So that is a client base, or at least a population the size of the UK's population, so very significant. I think the second point I would make is the comprehensive ecosystem in Hong Kong that really is working very well to support companies' development. And that goes from the regulators who are being very progressive in encouraging innovation in fintech, through to accelerators, through obviously to fintech players. There's a recently established fintech association in Hong Kong. There's Cyberport offering incubation services, and of course, as a financial services centre, access to capital for both starting a business and growth, and ultimately with a stock exchange that understands the nature of the opportunity. And the third point I'd make is really back to that regulatory point. All of the three key regulators, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, the SFC and the Insurance Authority, all have dedicated fintech teams, which I think just demonstrates the seriousness with which Hong Kong is taking fintech.
I see, and what are the main driving forces shaping this?
Well, I think it is back to Hong Kong being a significant financial services centre already. It is the bigger China opportunity. And as China continues to open up and reform, the potential to access 1.3 billion consumers, the business community across China that's increasingly doing business around the world, means that the size of the opportunity is just one that companies can't ignore. But it goes much beyond that. You've got the whole of the Asian region. If you think of Hong Kong's geographic positioning, within 4 hours travel, you've got more or less half of the world's population. So this is where the developments will lie. You know, Hong Kong as the entry point, as a jumping off point to all of these very fast growing economies, all of which are leapfrogging in terms of acceptance of technology.
Can you outline some of the major developments the Hong Kong FinTech Hub has achieved?
Well, we've been working very hard as a government and with key stakeholders to build out the ecosystem. Invest Hong Kong itself orchestrates a FinTech Week, that's coming up at the end of October. A whole week of bringing together leading players from around the world to share experiences, to understand what the nature of the opportunity is, and to go do deep dives in different verticals. So that's one of the big developments. I think there's lots of exciting things going on the regulatory front. Hong Kong really seeing this as a global opportunity. So conversations between our regulators in Hong Kong, with London, with Singapore, and looking to build out new opportunities using innovation.
And finally, what are your future plans to further develop Hong Kong as a fintech centre?
I think it's obvious that the opportunity is significant. We are dedicating lots of resource to it. As Invest Hong Kong, we've got a global approach. We have dedicated resource in Hong Kong, London, in San Francisco, and we will continue to push the message out to the global business community that Hong Kong is looking for the very, very best companies from around the world, or indeed entrepreneurs from around the world, to come and use Hong Kong to grow their business, to serve the Chinese market and to serve the wider Asian market. So there's lots and lots of scope for the future, and the priority is to make it happen and not just talk about it, but to act.
Stephen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.